This is the Troutbitten Podcast.
Troutbitten.
Troutbitten?
Troutbitten.
Troutbitten.
Troutbitten?
Yeah, Troutbitten.
Troutbitten.
It's about trout.
Wild trout. This is Troutbitten.
This is the Troutbitten Podcast, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Dominic Swentowski. I'm the owner of Troutbitten and the author of Troutbitten.com. All right, friends, here we are at the finale of Season 9 on the Troutbitten Podcast. And let me start by saying Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone out there listening. To all of you Troutbitten regulars and supporters, and to you first-timers too, thanks for another great year. This podcast will publish on Christmas Eve. So from all of us here to everyone out there, we hope you enjoy this holiday season with your family and friends. Make it special. All right, this episode is going to be a good one. Our friend Sloop John B. is joining us again tonight, just like the end of Season 7 it was. And for this season ender, we want to have some fun. Our plan is to go through a bunch of Troutbitten terms, words, sayings, phrases, things we say, and talk about what some of this stuff means. Let's call it a Troutbitten Glossary. When we started this podcast project, I remember saying to the guys that we should stay away from the inside jokes or the stuff we say in our friend group that probably wouldn't make much sense to everyone else. But that idea was kind of naive because we quickly realized that these conversations, these podcast episodes, are pretty much the same thing that happens when we stand around the tailgate at the end of a fishing trip. And the things we say just became a natural part of the vernacular of this podcast. These conversations, honestly, have been better with the fun of those ingrained terms or ideas. So longtime listeners already understand what it means when Austin says he could have caught a lot more trout if he really wanted to. Hey now, most of you also understand what it means to play bartender for a friend. And you know how many inches a trout should be to fall under the Troutbitten classification of whiskey. Now, if you're lucky enough to have your own group of longtime fishing friends, then I'm sure you have your own phrases too, your own idioms and fun ways of talking about things. It's all just a lot of fun. But yeah, we're going to roll through a bunch of these. We'll define them and talk about some history too, how a lot of this stuff really came about. That's why we're happy to have our buddy Sloop with us, because he's one of the OG Troutbitten crew. Legacy Troutbitten. Right, Sloop? Legacy.
Well, hey, you
Here
know
he
what?
is.
I told you last time, the best part of being out here is being able to go, Troutbitten.
No, my favorite part of the podcast last time when you were on, when you said, I finally got my opportunity to contribute.
Well, it really is a fun opportunity to sit around with you guys and talk mostly what we talk about.
I know.
That's fishing.
There's 7 of us here, right? There's 7 of us, and it's just fun. It's what we do kind of every week in season.
Just all the terms that we came out, just made, not that we talk in code, but we just goof around and have make a fun day funner. So I hope everybody enjoys what comes next tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's not trying to be a code. We just talking a podcast the way we do around the tailgate. We had our Troutbitten party the other night. Christmas party. Troutbitten Christmas party the other night. Who's the foosball champion?
Hey, now.
Young Love and I.
Josh and I were the foosball champions.
All right. Now, between you two is what it came down to as well with the arm wrestling. Now, who won in arm
what
wrestling?
happened with that?
Yeah.
Austin is
was a
freaky
tie.
strong.
Yeah.
Josh is too.
Now, technically, I won left-handed. He won right-handed, but
Ooh,
I went
that
back
is a
for
tie.
seconds on the right hand, and he beat me again. So I'd say that
Ooh.
Austin is the champion, I think.
He is freakishly strong. It's the hangboard, isn't it, bud?
Hanging helps.
Hanging helps.
He's like the fly.
Trevor beat me in, what would you call that game, Trevor?
I don't know.
Is that
I
a
was
military
caught-
thing?
Plank war,
The crab call.
Plank wrestling or something? Yeah.
plank wrestling, something like that. Yeah, we did that at boot camp. Yeah, you go head to head in plank position. You try.
You know what that sounds like, Matt?
Was anyone wearing skin tight Hodgmans?
During the plank wrestling?
Yes.
Dom, you might have won, do you win darts or something, maybe?
I didn't win anything. But
You didn't win darts?
No, I didn't win. Steelers didn't win either.
Tough night for Dom.
Oh,
It was a
no,
really
not
tough
bring that
night
up.
for Dom.
A lot of L's.
I lasted longest
Great
with
host,
arm
though.
wrestling against Trevor, but I think he was messing with me. You were messing with me, weren't you?
We'll never know.
He was just trying to. He's like, well, it's his house. It's his
Let
bar.
him win. Now we know why Dom ties weak knots.
Dude, it was everything I had just the last like 7 seconds there with Trevor. And then he's like, boom, over the top.
Hmm.
I don't know why we started the feats of strength. But
It was
we got
fun,
right
though.
into it. The
Yeah.
plank war, I didn't participate.
We're gonna have to come up with some feats of strength that us old guys can keep up
I don't
with.
know if you can't classify yourself as an old guy yet.
Ah,
Yeah, you're not even in your 40s yet.
Still a young gun.
I feel old after getting my butt kicked in arm wrestling.
Dude, I felt old. I told Austin today, didn't I text you, Austin? I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
back
you
to
did.
working out. I said, I'm back to my workout
Back to
routine, which I
working
always
out.
fall slack a little bit during guide season. I'm like, watching you guys was enough for me. It made me, like, I admire that. You're in great shape. And it made me feel bad about myself. I'm back at it.
I was pretty impressed you went out for a run today, Dom.
Right. That's I told Sloop too. I'm like, I'm running. We'll check your mic later.
That's awesome.
That's
good.
Man.
It's
Well,
inspiring.
right?
Made Frank Costanza proud.
You got to keep
That's
up
right.
with Austin's biceps, man. Look at those things.
They've been on the podcast
Okay,
a few
now.
times.
Right.
People just don't know it.
All right, we should move on. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the lens flare there on Austin's camera too. Look at that.
I look pretty good tonight, don't I?
Fresh haircut.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Best you've ever looked.
So
I
good.
used to look as good as Sloop.
No.
No, you never have.
He says no. All right, we're all talking, but
You're
let's
right.
introduce everyone here by answering this question. Think about this, guys. How many good fishing friends have you had in your life? By that, I mean people you've fished with a lot and shared ideas with. So one of the most common comments we get to this podcast is how lucky we are to have these friendships. And that's true. That's for sure. Personally, I'm happy to call each one of these guys friends and have them as part of my life. I do recognize that is a rare thing. It's a special thing to have found other people who share the same passions, the same curiosities for fishing, and to push each other without competition to become better anglers and to better understand the rivers that we fish. So every one of these guys are among that list of good fishing friends that I've had, and that's 6 right here. And when I thought back, including my dad and my uncle, I've only had 6 more. That's me. Maybe 12 in my life, good fishing friends. And I feel like I'm lucky. I know I'm lucky. I'm saying I feel like I'm lucky that it's more than 3 or 4 or 5. So that's cool. Matt, you all right? Okay, so Matt Grobe, how many fishing friends have you had in your life?
Outside of this crew, I'd
Mm.
say 3.
Yeah, right on.
3 additional.
All right, there's Matt Grobe. Slooper. Sloop
Well,
coming in from Montana right down the road from Matt.
Honestly, I can think of only a handful of people that I really would. When I think of good memories, I think of like going somebody who I'll go camping with or something like that.
Yeah.
And you know, go up to some of the northeast streams up there
Yeah.
and hang out for a couple of days and fish, you know, drink beer, everything. But, you know, I was going to say to Matt, lucky to have a good family of fishermen. I have a lot of brothers, but none of them fish,
Mm.
you know,
Good
so
point.
unfortunately I don't have a strong family tie to fishing. I've
Mhm.
managed to eke out a handful of friends up in the State College region and out here and, you know, in my hometown. But, you know, it's hard to develop like, you know, the passion of, that's required to do what we do.
And to find those like-minded people who will say yes about fishing tomorrow morning instead of saying, I got something else to do because it's cold or it's rainy. I got you. What's your number? How many you think about it? Have you thought about it?
I mean, I'm
good
thinking
fishing
it's if I could pull up good fishing guys, it would be single digits. I don't know for sure, but
Sure.
it's single digits.
All right. Well, good to have you here. And we said before, anybody wants to hear Sloop talk for the first time, go back to the end of season 7, right? Last May or June, we recorded it. And we talked about how you, Sloop, tied everything together. Everybody's here tonight because of Sloop being friends with sort of the key people that just sort of brought everybody together. And you've always brought everybody together. That's a strong suit. That's cool.
I've tried to. And if I come back in May, I will make an announcement to everybody, and we'll try to get out.
Okay,
nice.
I told these guys I got to watch out for you because you're the to be. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to start the podcast out.
Well, here's the 1B. Here's the 1B.
So you guys have to take care of.
I got a second one.
Sloop. All right.
I drove him last time with a flat
All right.
tire.
As long as somebody.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You drove me with a flat tire? Oh, that's right.
See, you don't even remember.
I do remember that.
That's what happened.
You don't even remember.
I do remember.
You were
that.
above target. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
He was in
That
the
was
target attic.
That was a good night out.
The attic.
That was good.
All right, Deli, what do you have, buddy? You think about it? You had time to think about it. How many fishing friends? Good.
Say about
fishing
8 or
friends.
9,
Right. On.
excluding the folks in here.
Oh, excluding. Wow, you get around, don't
Wow,
you?
you do get
Yeah.
around, Bill.
He's like, I'll fish with anybody.
What are you telling people?
Anybody.
I'll get
What are
a
you
hit
telling people?
somewhere?
I'm just selling spots, you know.
Jeez.
Playing
What
bartender.
should I say now?
I think Austin and I owe a shout out to our newest fishing friends, Andy and Anthony from New Trail.
Oh, those guys are cool.
Shout out. That's right.
Nice.
They're good additions.
Yes.
Nice.
That's kind of the thing. It's like, whatever. We've all had fishing friends and groups, and things in life, just in general, come and go. But especially fishing buddies, people get into different stages of life. Anyway, that's cool. Austin, what do you have, bud? What's your number? Good fishing friends.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's pushing a dozen.
Baker's
This
dozen.
is an area,
Including
that I feel
us?
No, I think outside
Wow.
of you guys even.
Wow.
I feel left out. Who are you?
He's more likable than we are.
He's outgoing. He's
Good for you.
likable.
I'm not surprised. He's the extrovert.
He's like a
How many
walking
more
fly
extroverts?
shop.
Raise your hand.
There's an extrovert down
Come
in
on.
this lower right-hand
Come
corner.
on, Trevor. There you go.
It honestly,
Matt's
That's
an
why-
extrovert.
That's why
Matt's
Austin's
an
the event
extrovert.
coordinator.
That's right. He's the event
That's right.
coordinator.
I had the advantage of being at Penn State for 4 years in the fly fishing club, and naturally I met a lot of really good people
That would do it.
there and maintain relationships. So I have a bit of a leg up on
Mhm.
maybe most people who run into a fishing friend on occasion. I was with them every week all the time for 4 years, so
That's true.
it was pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. All right, Josh Darling of Wilds Media. You like when I say that?
That makes me blush.
He does like it.
He said it the other day, and I cut that part out, but you're like, I always feel a little bit uncomfortable when you say Wilds Media. So I'm going to say it even more.
Wild Media.
Wilds
Wilds
Media.
Media.
Wilds Media. Josh Darling. Look how good he
Keep it
looks
coming.
tonight. What do you have? How many?
That's what I
how many-
contribute.
How many fishing buddies? 2?
I was going to say 2 outside of this crew. Yep. You
I
nailed
thought
it.
might be low, like mine.
I'm not as likable as some of you guys.
No, you're just more of a recluse. All right. Last but not least, Dr. Trevor Smith. He likes when I say doctor. He sort
I
of
do.
requires it.
I require it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Post-production edits. I have 2 outside of this group as well. And I don't consider so it's 6 including this group.
Mhm.
I don't really consider somebody that I've fished with a few times or friends of mine that I've fished with in this category because I just think when it comes down to, I think we're talking about like a different level of fishing and
Good fishing buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, before this group, it had been probably almost 20 years since I had, like when I was a kid in Warren growing up on the Allegheny, I had a couple friends over that period of time that I fished with a lot.
I'd count them. I counted my first fishing buddy was Mark Mauser in like 8th grade.
Nice. That's awesome. Greg Haynes and John Papalia.
There you
Shout
go,
out.
right? Shout out.
But since then, like you guys were the next group I ever found of
Isn't that
people
something?
that were just passionate about getting out there, and it's been awesome because it is hard to find.
It is.
It's got to be right.
Yeah. I said that's one of the most frequent comments I get. It's like, man, you're lucky to have that group of friends. I know it. We all know it. We all know. We're
Nobody,
really lucky.
nobody can see this from, from listening to this podcast. But I'm looking in the back of Trevor's, the night fishing picture, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to go with you? You know, there's only
Right.
you know, there's only a handful of
Nice.
guys
There's
who are
one.
going to go with you.
Josh,
I mean,
goes.
you
Not
hold
only
the-
go, but be excited about it, right? Yeah.
Deli won't night fish. You know,
That's a proud photo for you that you earned.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
Right.
Who's gonna take that picture besides his buddy Josh?
Right.
Right.
Probably
Yeah.
the reason he befriended him. He can make him look good.
That's true.
Strategy.
Team Trevor.
Team Trevor.
That guy takes nice pictures. I bet you I can drag him along with me fishing.
I'm just drafting.
This could
Start
work out for
sponsoring
me.
me.
Well, Trevor's a good pro staff. Yeah, right.
I always say I'm on the Trevor Smith pro staff.
Yeah.
Half of the nice things that I use fishing came from Trevor. He upgrades and I take his old stuff.
It works both ways. Mutually beneficial. Very good. Hey, you guys ready to move on? Let's go in topic before we make this a whole podcast about having friends. We already did that one. You remember that? It's like season 3 or 4. I'm guessing. It was back there. We said about good fishing friends. Where'd Grobe go?
I'm here.
right
There
there.
he is. He's to the right of the microphone.
I'm still here.
There he is. All right, sorry. All right, then let's get into the season finale of the Troutbitten Podcast, season 9. Now, it's been over 2 years and 101 podcasts. That's right. Last week was the 100th episode. Did you guys know that?
No kidding.
100.
Cool.
Wow.
That's kind of cool, right?
That is
Bit of a
cool.
milestone.
Nice.
Does it feel like 100?
No, we haven't done it. Well,
Well, you haven't
some of
done
us
them all.
haven't done 100.
Yeah, as you say, without a season off, it might feel like 100.
To me, it feels like 100.
Austin, do you feel overworked?
So this is episode 101. Next month, also, we'll cross 1 million downloads. I remember this time last year saying we were about to cross 500,000 downloads. And here we are at 1 million downloads in
That's pretty
less than a
cool.
month. You can just tell from the pace of things.
Very cool.
That is cool. I mean, most podcasts never get close to that.
Mm-mm.
And so it's something, we're all proud of. But again, it's this enjoyment, I think, that keeps us coming back. And in a lot of ways, I feel like we're just hitting our stride. We've got a lot of ideas for the future, bring in some new guests and different topics and things to talk about. But anyway, our lingo is the topic for tonight. Some of these terms, it's part of this whole thing, part of the Troutbitten culture. And occasionally I'll have somebody, that says, hey, what the heck do you mean when you're talking about these namers? What's that mean? Or why does Matt say things this way? Or, whatever. We'll get to these.
It's always me.
Why does Matt
Why
talk
does Bill
like that?
talk the way he does?
That's right.
Bill.
As fly anglers and tires, we understand the value of having the right tool for the job. AvidMax.com offers over 20,000 products and the knowledge to help you find the right tool for your job, whether that be at the tying bench or on the water. Listeners of the Troutbitten Podcast receive a special one-time discount code at AvidMax.com. Enter the code TB10 at checkout on full-priced items to save 10% off your order. Orders over $25 ship for free, so you can put more gas in your tank or beer in your cooler. For all things fly fishing and tying, elevate your game with AvidMax. For over a decade, Smith Creek's high-quality fly fishing accessories have helped anglers just like you to keep your gear in easy reach, free up your hands, and keep our waters clean. Their award-winning Rod Clip Plus now has 2 ways to attach it to your vest or pack, making it easier to tie a fly, change a hook, or release your catch. All Smith Creek products are built guide tough, using rugged materials and backed by their strong commitment to customer service. This fall, Smith Creek is introducing even more new products, so keep checking their website at smithcreek.co for more information and special offers from now through Christmas. All right, my friends, our Troutbitten crew here. Where should we start?
There's so many good ones.
You have to keep it PG, or at least PG-13 rated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should go like from most common to
Fair enough.
To,
Ooh.
so like,
Hey
let's
now.
start.
You
Let's
could
start with
start
hey
there.
now. Yeah.
Start-
hey now.
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 Sloop, where's your hey now?
Hey now. Hey now.
You caught me off guard.
Sloop, give me a good hey now.
Hey now.
There you
That's the
go.
best I got. That's the best
So
I got.
it's become part of all of ours, and I've been talking for a while, but I guess I brought it over here. When I was in Charlotte, I was working construction, and my construction crew every day listened to the Howard Stern show on the radio. This is late 90s, early 2000s, late 90s. and every day. And what was it, Baba Booey, right? Hey now. You see, you guys don't even know. On the Howard Stern show, it was hey now. So yeah, I don't know. It just became part of my language. And then Trevor, you're the one who said that everybody has
a hookup phrase.
Yeah, hookup phrase. Tell everybody what a hookup phrase is. My hookup phrase is, hey now. I catch a trout almost every time.
Yeah. First time I ever fished with you, I was standing there just staring at you for a few minutes. I was like, you say that every single time you hook a fish, don't you?
What's wrong with this guy?
Or even if I think I hook a fish.
Yeah, it's like under the breath if he thinks he's got one. Hey now.
Yeah, mid-sentence while he's talking about something else.
Yeah. And I kind of realized I have things that usually one sort of thing that I would say as well. So I just figure like we all have this unconscious thing that we're saying or doing when we hook a fish. But mine's so much lamer. I think when I realized I was just like, there we go. Or something like that.
There he is.
Oh, this feels regrettable. I feel like I should go back and start over again.
Didn't you tell me
Find something
Caitlin's
cool.
hookup phrase is, go ahead.
No, I want to see if you remember it.
You said that she says, that's mine.
Yeah, she did.
That's a good one.
Trevor's
She
wife.
had so much more swagger about fishing than I ever knew. I took her out for the very first time, and she hooks her first fish. She's like, that's mine. I got it. Savage.
What are your hookup phrases then, guys? Anybody else? You got a hookup phrase that you know about?
You
don't.
Mine's
That one
vulgar.
worth mentioning.
See, mine wasn't worth mentioning though.
I think I say here we go.
There we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, you're a
here we
Steelers
go.
fan, of course.
Here we go.
Do you have a finishing move? You know, when you get the fish in the net?
There he is.
There he is.
That's what I say when I hook him.
When you hook him, there he is. You do.
What's
say
your
that,
finishing
Austin.
move
Yeah.
phrase, Deli?
If it's a big fish, it's the Ric Flair woo.
Woo!
Hey now.
Let's hear it.
Woo!
Josh, don't you say yep?
I do.
Yeah. Yep.
So your hookup phrase, darling, is yup.
Yep.
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 It's not like
you
it's just
got
kind of a
one. Yep.
subconscious thing. I think we all got something.
Yeah.
Josh,
Yeah.
what's your non-hookup phrase?
What's my non-hookup phrase?
Yeah, what do you say?
I don't know,
there's
probably like
when you,
hate to
when
see
you don't
that or
catch something, what do you say? No.
Oh, good. What do I say?
When you work through a run, you don't catch anything. What do you say?
Oh, there's nothing in there.
There's no fish in there.
There's no fish in there.
There's no fish in this hole.
I say that all the time. Yeah, no fish in there.
That's right. That's right.
There's no
I
fish
said,
in there.
That's
there's
right.
no fish
No
in there.
No fish in there. I've seen
the
a fish
Amish.
up through a nice run, catches nothing, bumps nothing. He looks at me, he goes, nothing in there. No fish in there.
There's no fish in there.
I love that.
They didn't stock that stretch.
You got to say it. You can't say it jokingly though. It's like there's no fish in there. It's a very serious
That's
thing.
right.
There are not. If I don't catch them, there are no fish in there.
I want our listeners to comment on this podcast with all their like the best hookup phrases.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear. I definitely don't have a hookup. I don't know. Sloop would maybe be able to tell me if I had a hookup phrase, but I have a lost fish phrase, right, Sloop?
Which is?
I slooped it.
That's right.
Right?
That's a good one.
I say that one more than hookups. Me
I
and
was going
Sloop
to chime
yell
in and say that I don't need the in the net phrase. Half
you
of mine.
half of your sloop.
Because you sloop them.
The last time Sloop and I fished, there was a few, but I slooped it.
He's
Right?
taking on his own
He
turn.
did every time. I
He's
slooped it.
embraced it.
And then I'll ask him how the day went. And he landed 20 and slooped 4.
I like it.
That's
That's
pretty good.
fantastic.
odds.
How did that come
Slooping.
about? We slooped it.
Because I lose a lot of fish.
I think you coined that yourself.
I slooped it.
No, it was either Dom or Pat.
Yeah, maybe. Like it. We acknowledged last time. Sloop has his nickname because of his, he's John Burgos. Is that how you say last name?
Yeah.
Burgos.
Close enough.
How would you say your last name?
With it like Gus at the end.
Burgos.
Or Gus.
All right, my fault. He'd think I'd know that by now, but I don't because I just call him Sloop.
Most people say Burgos.
No. So Sloop John B, right? That was
Yep.
on the Connecticut trip where I started saying, oh, John B, Sloop John B. Anyway, so that's where Sloop comes from.
That was a fun trip.
And then Sloop, it was a fun trip. Then of course, slooping a fish comes from, that's what Sloop does. Gets them on the hook, can't get them in the net.
For all sorts of unknown reasons.
Going down, so what's popular? How about the terms for trout size we use?
Oh,
Should we start with namer? What's namer mean?
Namer's the biggest one. That's Matt Grobe. Go ahead, bud. He brought that over.
So a namer is any fish over 24 inches, any trout,
Any
trout over 20, any wild trout.
Ah, thank you.
No, it can't. No, because I've
No?
caught namers that have been,
No, you named a bunch of those
Yeah.
stockies.
yeah, fingerlings. Hey, now.
What about a
Um,
clubfish? What about a clubfish that's
Yeah,
27
you can-
inches?
Nah, maybe that one. Yeah, you can give it a funny name,
Okay.
right?
Gotta be a
you
funny
just got to
name.
give it a funny name.
Yeah.
Miss, you know.
I think we all
Pellethead.
laughed with
Miss
the very first
Pellethead.
one. The very first one was Hog Boy.
Yeah. Hog
Hog
Boy was the
Johnson.
original, but any
Hog Johnson.
24-inch fish, right, usually creates the memory of the
Mhm.
fight, the battle, the night,
No matter what.
the day. And so it's only fitting that you name that fish so it's etched in your memory and
Like it.
you can quickly think of the name associated with it.
And in the old days, that fish would become the banner of the Troutbitten Forum.
Oh, yeah,
until
right.
it was
Yeah.
replaced.
I forgot about
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
I forgot about that.
Right? At the forum that Sloop set up,
Yeah.
Troutbitten forum that Sloop set up and named, which is why we're all here. Yeah. I used to change the banner. Whoever caught the latest namer had the header
was
up
cool.
there, the banner
that was
up
pretty
there.
cool.
Yep, the namer. So if it's 24 inches and up, especially the wild ones, Deli, what's your best namer? What's the best name?
Rising Beaver is my favorite.
Hey, now.
So
Go ahead. He has a story about this.
I was fishing with my buddy Paul, and so we pulled up on this island,
Yeah.
and I worked up this island channel, and there was this fish that was rising.
Yeah.
And so I caught one, and it was like, I don't know, 17 or 18.
Yeah.
And then there was another one rising, and I looked and I said, do you want to fish for that one? And he's like, no, he's like, I wasn't even going to fish this side. Go ahead. And then throw it out. And of course, I was throwing like a size 6 stonefly at it. It was rising to Hendrickson's. And so
that's a good hatch.
Yeah.
You
So
threw a stonefly dry fly at it?
no, I threw a size 6 stonefly nymph at it.
That's what we do, Trevor.
That's what
Yeah.
they do. Knuckle dragon.
Knuckle dragon right up the
That's another one.
right up that
Nice.
channel.
Yeah.
And I hook it, and then it just comes out of the water, and I go, holy shit. And then like I just I did the the deli special. I sprinted after it, and I actually had the boat net with me.
That might be another one.
And so I sprinted after it, got it in the net real quick, and my buddy Paul was like, he's like, wow. He's like, you really wanted that one in the net. I said, yeah, it's a big fish. We came back across the channel, and at this point in the main river, there were 2 other guys fishing from the other side. And this guy on the other side must have asked us like 5 times, did you see a beaver? Did you see any beavers over there? Were there any beavers over there? And so I named it the Rising Beaver.
I like it. All right, so the namers are 24 inches. Anything 20 inches and over, we call a whiskey. Sloop, tell them why.
Well, if you're fortunate enough to get one, you're going to have to take a shot of whatever whiskey we have in our bag with us.
Right on.
Luckily, that doesn't happen to me.
Hey, Trevor, did you take that whiskey? All right, so from our party, we're going to give a shout
Yeah.
out to our buddy Jim
Oh, I
Romey.
did take it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to our buddy Jim Romey,
Yeah.
who gifted us a really unique,
Nice bottle of bourbon.
nice bottle, right? Nice bottle.
Mm.
And we shared that a bit, and then you took that home?
I sure did.
Good, because I couldn't find it after the party. I'm like, Trevor took it.
You told me to take it.
I did.
Don't act like it was. Don't act like it was
Well, you left
unsuspected.
it. No,
You said,
I didn't
"Here,
make
take it."
Yeah, it's good.
I witnessed. I got your back, Trevor.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Many of us used to carry a flask. I don't know how many of you guys still carry a flask.
I do it night.
Josh and I
One,
carried
two,
it
a couple
at
of you guys,
night.
still do.
Yeah.
And
We need it at night a lot.
Bill and I've been we got older, so we're trying to pare down the weight, and even
Yeah,
even 8 ounces makes a big difference.
it does. I can't fit that in my lanyard.
No, it's not
Oh,
so
my.
much in your lanyard. Anyway, so a whiskey, like Sloop said, we celebrate the 20 inches with a shot of whiskey. And if it's not on the stream, then we're definitely doing it right after. It's definitely in my gray bag. And then what do we have next? The pounder, right? And Trevor came up with that term. A pounder is what,
A
bud?
pounder. 12 inches. No, yeah, 12 inches, right?
Something like 12.
Yeah.
It's something that weighs about a pound, right?
They all look the
always
same.
about a pound.
Your medium trout.
Exactly.
They're medium. They're
Your
just your
standard
average
medium old trout.
right? Like that's your
Yep.
pounder. Got a pounder. What'd you do up there? Got a handful of
Yeah.
pounders. Did all right.
Yeah.
And then Grobe, who catches a lot of tiddlers out there. What's a tiddler? He brought
That's
this term over for us.
Yeah, anything under 10 inches, is a tiddler. What are you doing?
10?
today? Yeah, I'm catching a bunch of tiddlers. Yeah, 10 inches.
He's out in Montana.
Those are tiddlers.
We thought he was
We're not-
joking too, but it really is like in
It
the
is a-
dictionary.
Right.
as
It's a UK term.
a very small fish. Yeah.
Small fish. Anything small. Yeah,
Yep.
done catching
Yeah.
tiddlers today.
Tiddler.
You target the tiddlers, don't you?
Sloop does.
Try to
I
rack
know.
up the
Yes.
numbers with your counter. I've seen
Sloop's
your
a
counter.
tiddler guy. He
Yeah, it
told
was-
me
it was
yesterday.
Tiddler
He
day
told me-
yesterday.
yeah. He said it's me and Sloop went skiing this morning. First thing he said, banged up on those tiddlers. Right?
He's honest.
Whatever it takes to turn the counter to the next number, right?
Yep.
That's right.
Hey, if it's got spots, click it.
I love that.
That's right. That's right.
He's a tiddler. All right. What else, guys? We're moving pretty good, right? Everything doesn't need this enormous explanation.
The one that kind of connects to all those is playing bartender, just because it followed the drinking theme. So
Mhm.
if you know where a good fish is and you kind of set your buddy up for that good fish and he catches it, then you get the assist. And it's
Yeah.
called playing bartender. So
You got to tip your bartender
mhm.
Well, you should
That's
tip
right.
if
if
you
you're
You
the
deserve
recipient
recognition
of said
Yeah,
fish.
Exactly.
Now, that's a great. I remember. Oh gosh, it was like season 5 or 6 when somebody was that you, Matt, or Bill? One
That
of you
was
guys
Trevor.
came up. Was that you, Trevor, that came up with that term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I always shortchanged the doctor. He's like, I did that.
I think it was the same
That
one
was me first.
with the sweetheart.
Playing
hole.
bar.
It
Wasn't
was. You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
it
sweetheart
was.
hole.
Yeah.
So
it
we know
all
what the
tied
bar.
into the
We know what playing
bartender.
bartender is. Then what's the sweetheart hole? So we say that
Was
a
it-
lot.
Yeah, for me, I have two meanings on the sweetheart hole. So one's
All
when
right.
you're driving around and you see 4 dudes, within a rod's length of each other. Right?
Yeah.
To
Mhm.
me, that's a sweetheart hole. Or
Mhm.
if someone encroaches on your territory and it's like
Yeah.
they want to hold your hand,
Right.
that becomes the sweetheart hole, right? The guy that got way too close. Or
What would you
came,
say to that
know,
guy, Matt? If that guy that
You want to
got
hold my
in-
hand?
Yeah, you want to hold hands, bud. Why are you getting so close? You want to hold hands?
You want to hold my hand?
Like this is a sweetheart hole.
That's it.
I like it.
They just walk away confused, and you smile.
That's good though.
I had River out with me yesterday, and Aiden was with me too, and we're fishing. And well, there's nobody out there, but I was thinking about how my 2 dogs were very different, and I was telling Aiden how my border collie would really kind of get that border collie crouch, that shepherd's kind of crouched look, kind of crouching down, eyes are kind of almost aggressive look to him. And people would give us a lot of space. I mean, they'd be like, "Hey, is he okay?" I'm like, he's fine. He won't hurt you. But people would give us a lot of space. That's what you need, Matt, is
I do.
so they don't crowd you in, make it a sweetheart hole.
My next purchase might be a dog to
Might
scare people
be.
away.
Hmm.
Border collie.
Nah, dog doesn't suit you, Matt.
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Why, Sloop?
No.
Oh, that's on the run all the time.
Fair enough. Gotta move. Gotta move. Gotta go.
Keep that cat. Get the little cat.
Sloop, what else you got? You got anything?
Well, I'm going to give a little bit of lead into this. A lot of these terms came almost like as if we're airing our grievances once again. A lot of these terms came from maybe lousy situations on the stream. And the one in particular I'm talking about is the term conquered. And
yeah. Conquered.
as an example, just yesterday when my wife and I were out fishing for tiddlers, we were the first ones at a parking lot, walked way down the stream, did our thing, got way away from people, and on the way up, turned the corner. My wife was ahead of me, and she yells back, "Hey, dude, we're done." There's a guy,
Conquered.
right, conquered.
Somebody put ahead of you. How close do they have to be to get conquered?
Well, I mean, conquered in the olden days, conquered would mean when somebody, the way I interpret it, is somebody knowingly walks right past you and jumps into the hole, which is the absolute, the worst breach of any fishing etiquette.
Agreed.
That there is. But in this case, this guy didn't actually do that. We were way out of sight when he ventured downstream, but he violated one of Matt's other rules of if you see a truck, go to the next bridge.
I didn't realize that's what it was. I always thought that was just front ending, which is another thing we say.
Getting conquered.
Yeah,
well,
but
we're usually fishing upstream, so getting conquered is somebody puts upstream.
Yeah, front ending.
I always thought it
hose.
was a floating. I always thought it was a floating thing.
Well,
like you get passed up or something.
This is before your time, Josh. I mean, Sloop invented this.
I'll say this again. I said this right before we started recording because we were talking about getting conquered, and Pat Burke is the one. We were floating on one of our favorite rivers, and we were following these guys for about an hour. We were going a little faster than them. We wanted to go a little bit faster than them, and to be honest, there's nobody else on that river that day. Seriously, it was like almost wintertime, like this time of the year. And there's only a couple islands, and we got to this one island, and Pat's like, I'm going to go to the left. They're going to the right. I'm going to the left. And he just is rowing hard. And he's like, we're going to conquer them. We got to the tip of the island. You could see those guys just slightly behind us. We're almost neck and neck with them. And Pat's like, he like double times it. He's like, I'm going to conquer them. I'll never forget that. That's where that came from. Came into my life anyway.
That's where I thought it.
Getting conquered.
From. Yeah.
So,
and it's to that
happen
point, Dom,
waiting.
it's like if there's an effort, like we all being made to either get in front of a boat or in front of a group that might be going to your hole, right? And they exert more effort into getting that hole, you were conquered.
That's right. You got conquered.
You've been conquered. Just walk back to your truck or just put your head down because you're not, or someone comes out like of a shortcut trail and illegally parked. You've been conquered.
They're like, beat you. That's a good.
You see the headlamp on the stream. You're like, shit.
Yeah.
You were conquered.
You got me.
That's a great way to put it. Good thing to bring up there. They made extra effort and you didn't quite meet the effort.
Yeah.
Well, they created the competition. Well, in that case, Pat created the competition. He's like, we conquered those guys.
I mean, I can sit here and say I've been the one trying to conquer.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Every once in a while.
No question. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We constantly do that.
Well, especially if you've already been high-holed by a guy. Then I'll go conquer him. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So funny.
Whether it's after a fishing trip or at a backyard fire, you can bet the Troutbitten crew has a case of New Trail Broken Heels along with us. It's honestly our favorite beer. This hazy IPA is smooth and full-bodied. Hand-selected Citra hops lead to notes of bright clementine and juicy ruby red grapefruit. Broken Heels is a keeper. New Trail beer is proudly brewed in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and delivered cold to your favorite craft beer retailer every week. At New Trail, it's not about being the best angler. It's about getting out there. So enjoy nature's moments and reward yourself for a day well fished with New Trail Broken Heels. It's Troutbitten's favorite beer. What's high-hold mean? This isn't just a Troutbitten term, but what's a high-hole if you get high-holed?
Somebody steps in and starts fishing. The biggest offender is if I can cast and hit you, then you've high-holed me.
Yes,
there's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, even like if I could cast 5 times the length that I think even anything much
way further than that.
Further
50,
than that.
50 feet's way too close.
50 feet, there you go.
And I think we've talked about the relativity of this, right? Based on the stream you're fishing, the time of year, how busy it is, all that stuff. But in general around here, I'd say there's enough room on the water that if you're within 100 yards of the next guy, you're kind
of 100 yards, especially right now. There's nobody out there.
Yeah.
I was guiding 3 days ago, and a guy pulled into the parking lot, the small gravel lot that we were in, and I thought he didn't see us. He got all geared up. It took him about 20 minutes. He starts walking down, and then he got to a point where he could see me and my friend that I was out with, and he actually kind of dipped his head, put his hand up, kind of nodded, like, oh, sorry, didn't see you. He went back to his truck, got in, and pulled away. I don't know where he went. And I told my friend there, I'm like, that is fantastic. I said, that's exactly what we would have done too. I said, that's cool because there's nobody else out here. So give them all that kind of space. I thought that was cool. There are people nice. See, the world's good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you say there's a subset of these terms that certainly have derived from observing bad behavior on the stream?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
It comes down to the other phrase that we've mentioned on this numerous times. It's turned into a Troutbitten phrase, but it's not how we do things here.
I forgot about that's not.
I mean,
that's not what you do.
You summarize all this, like, that's when you want to have that conversation. For someone that's gotten into the sweetheart hole, it's just look, man, this isn't how we do things here. You might do it there in your neck of the woods, but we try to educate in our home waters, and that's not how we do things here. Give us 100 yards.
Right on. I've mentioned this before. I used to say that to guys like, hey, where are you from? And they'll say, I'm from New York. And I say, well, we give people a lot more room around here. That's not how we do things, But Trevor, along those same lines, we have this phrase in Troutbitten that goes, that's not what you say.
I don't even think
Where's
I
that
can
come
recount
from?
that. Oh my gosh.
You don't
Can
know?
we tell
I don't
that
know.
story?
I don't know if you can tell that exact story.
I
but-
can't tell. I won't tell the
a
exact
roundabout
story, but
version.
there's
Man,
a
we
little
were-
much there. But
It was one of our Troutbitten winter fishing days.
just having fun,
We were
fishing.
just having fun. We'd stopped for lunch and we were eating Bill's stale chips that he got from Aldi's because they had
Thanks,
a hole
Bill.
in the bag.
That's right.
So still.
Thanks, Bill.
They were on.
And
That's why
Dom-
they were on clearance.
Right. We're having a broken heels.
Yep.
And Dom
True
decides
story.
to open up and tell something difficult going on in the life of one of his family members.
That's right.
And just sharing kind of, heart to heart story. And we're all
Yeah.
kind of listening there. And
Yeah.
Bill's nodding his head. And I'm thinking he's getting it. But then he's like, that same situation happened to a friend of mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they killed themselves.
That's
And,
right. That's what Bill said.
And I couldn't in that moment think of anything worse that could have been said to give hope to you in your situation.
Right.
And we all just kind of looked over at Bill and nobody really knew what to say. It was just like, that's not what you say, Bill.
That's what Trevor goes. Look, Trevor looks at Bill. He goes, Bill, that's not what you say. And it's been a thing ever since. That broke the
to my
moment
defe-
right there.
To my defense, I was trying.
He was
I was trying to
Came from a
Be
good
a-
place.
Well, here's how my friend solved the
a
problem.
cautionary tale.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah.
Understood.
Bill got the bad end of that story.
He did.
And
Well,
I
we've been saying
apologize,
that ever
Bill.
since. That's not what you say. I forgot
like
about that one. I do like it. Keep nailing them, guys. Keep going.
Here's one. What about suck it?
Oh, yeah.
Suck it's
That's-
been a phrase
Yeah.
we've all been using forever. It's just like
Yep.
a way of signing off, or
Right.
you want to get back at your buddy or say something
Yep.
smart. You just tell them to suck it.
That's
And,
right.
or any other reason that you want to say it. It's on
That
the
was a
table.
very prominent thing.
Yeah, this was another reason why you should have watched wrestling.
Exactly. When we were
That's true.
growing up in
WWE.
D-Generation X. I mean, I walked around the halls of my
Yeah.
high school, suck it. Right?
Yeah,
That was a big
right.
thing. And it was a
Yeah.
thing and not a good thing either. Like everybody just walked around and did a gesture inappropriately and said suck it, and maybe human culture would be better right now if that's what everybody did. I don't know.
Everybody's still okay.
Yeah.
WWE. That's kind of another thing.
Yeah, there's a
We
lot of
tend-
tie-ins to
Yeah.
that.
Right? We tend to, every
Yeah.
once in a while go down that rabbit hole a little bit. We talked about Ric Flair. You brought up Ric Flair. Woo!
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Woo!
Somebody talked about Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Right on.
Do you remember when we guys fished last year before the new trail event, and we brought the walkie-talkies, and
Yeah, my
each
favorite
time
thing.
the group, we split up in like 2 groups or something, and each time one group caught a fish, we'd radio up, "Whoa, another fish on the dry! Whoa, super woo, woo!"
That's true.
You're getting them on
Like that.
pseudos.
That was definitely part of the conversation.
I like it.
My wader boots are nicer than yours. Whoa!
Matt, I'm going pseudo-Cleon. I was
Okay.
unfamiliar with the pseudo-Cleon until you brought it up. So
Well, now
we
you
we
just
talk,
make fun of me.
right. I
and
just
it's
make
great.
fun of Matt for fishing the. Hey, it's basically a blueing olive, right? Or is it different?
It's just a very small bluing.
Come on, man. Does it look like
Size
a bluing
24.
olive?
Really
You tell me if
tiny.
you can. You tell me if you can see any
You tell me.
any makeup of a thorax on a size 24 natural, right?
Oh, is it that small?
Yeah, it is. I'm saying it's no, you can't. It's just anytime anyone's in a fly shop, right? People start yapping Latin names. Just, yeah, it's a pseudocleon.
Nice.
Just walk away, right?
All right.
Troutbitten way. Yeah, it's a pseudo.
It's a thing. We'll keep making fun of it.
Pseudocleon.
We'll keep
Yeah,
making fun.
pseudocleons are big deal. Big deal out here. They're a
And
big
widow's
deal
web.
out there too.
You think
Huge.
if
You got to
you
put widow's web on that blue wing olive. If it's
oh
24.
yeah, to the widow's web.
Little widow's web, little parachute on that 24. You'd be catching fish left and right this fall, Bill.
See, Matt and Sloop are out there in it, different culture, different region than we are. So when he brings something like the pseudo-cleon, we're like, come on, man. And the widow's web, he's all about it. Is it a Montana-based company that sells widow's web?
I don't
Have
think
you guys
so.
used it?
Because you do like your
Yeah, no, it is.
Montana-based companies.
I do. But Montana Fly Company does the widow's web.
You guys should use it. It's
See?
pretty cool for tying.
Look, Sloop's backing
See,
me up.
Sloop's on it. He's on it.
Wait, Bill,
What?
didn't you use it, Bill?
I'm sure it's great.
I use something, yeah.
It's great
I don't
for
know
tying
where. I just use
parachute
Antron.
posts.
Yeah, I just use whatever colored Antron I have.
Yeah,
I don't know if
he'll
it's
change it
widow's
every
web.
time. Anyway.
Missing out.
Deli will change it every time he ties the fly. Next week it'll be something different.
That's right. Keep you on your toes.
I have a whole drawer of widow's
Look at
web
that.
here.
I can't
that
tell
didn't
you.
take you long. Matt, just lift it up.
Widow's
Yeah,
web.
a package of widow's web. That didn't take
You guys
him
need
long.
it.
That took him about
Sponsored.
5 seconds to find
I'm
it.
sponsored by Widow's Web.
You can't tie a chubby
He gets
without
$1 every time he mentions it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a primary chubby tool. Yeah.
Chubby.
We
Chernobyl.
fish the
Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Come on now.
chubbies.
Keep your head in the right game.
In a game.
Thunderhead. Thunderhead.
Thunderhead.
Thunderhead. Where's that come from?
Thundercats. Oh.
Thundercat.
That's a deli thing, man.
That's a
Deli's
deli
got a
thing.
real thing for fish pond. I think
I do.
somewhere he's got a backroom deal with fish pond, and like at least 5 times every season
That
he
Thunderhead
has to say,
submersible.
"Well, I was fishing and I got it out of my Thunderhead pack." Thunderhead, and then we all say, "Thunderhead."
It's so good.
It is. It's
Why
so
is
much
it so
fun.
good? I don't know.
Well, if you go back and listen to some of these podcasts, 100 plus now, and once in a while I do, I'm like, that was funny. That
Yeah.
was a fun podcast. I don't know where it came up, but it was Thunderhead, and we were saying like Fishbone. Let's be honest. I mean, Fishbone really likes the creative names for things. They do make some good stuff.
Yeah.
So Bill would talk to us about fish pond, this and that, and then all of a sudden he starts talking about Thunderhead, and the only thing we could all hear was Thundercats.
Oh.
That's a good segment in that podcast. Where you go back to Thundercats. Ho! There's about 3 people out there listening who remember Thundercats.
That was the best.
Thunder.
That's all we could talk
Was
about.
that a WWE wrestler?
No.
Oh, it's a cartoon.
Come
It's
on.
like Lilo
Come
and
on.
Austin's too
Starfish.
young. He
Young
never watched
loves.
Thundercats.
It's just a joke, you guys.
Dude, no, this
come
is
on.
before
Unbelievable.
Disney was doing like AI generation
Thunder.
of like
Thunder.
cartoon characters. No, this is like old school drawings.
Jumping off the ropes. Thundercat flying through the air.
No. Thundercats were not wrestlers. Don't conflate these two things. Thunderhead is its own thing. I don't know where Fishbone came up with it, but they sold a lot of packs. Is the Thunderhead all waterproof, Bill? Deli, you would know.
I think. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think almost everything, yeah, it's waterproof, has a Thunderhead.
So instead of
prefix.
just saying Z for like waterproof zipper like Sims does, it's got to be Thunderhead.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Oh man, what do we got?
Some pump. Some pump.
Some pump.
That's
Some
that
pump.
started. That was born with the beginning of the podcast. 'cause
That was like day one.
That was like
every
the
time
test
we'd log,
episode.
every time
was.
we'd log in, we'd all like hear something in the background. Did we know,
What's that
did we
noise?
know immediately that it was your sump pump?
Mhm.
Because you were
It
in the
was-
basement recording.
It was my grandmother-in-law's
That's
basement.
right.
Austin has been
Right.
what at least three, maybe four different locations for
Yeah.
your recording.
Reiterating, yeah, always a changing location. You know, I used to have the blanket. What do we call that? The tent.
Oh,
I used to make
the
the
tent.
tent behind me
Your tent.
with the green blanket.
Right.
And then I moved to the attic, and the attic's
That was-
pretty good
that
until
was
it gets to be
reliable.
the heat of the summer, and then I have to come back
Mhm.
down to the second floor where there's air conditioning.
Gotta say, your current setup is the best.
Now
I've
you're
ever
like
seen.
a
Oh,
Christmas
he's
card.
pretty tonight. Right?
You're like a Christmas.
That's good.
He's got lens flare tonight.
You got holly on
Yeah.
the left. It looks
You
like
know how
it.
sometimes we
It's
take a
just little plant.
screenshot and we post it?
And
This is the night we should do that.
this is the
You know,
night.
Sloop's here. I look pretty good.
Well, so
Mhm.
I'm
tonight,
gonna comb my hair.
so Austin, tell us about the sump pump.
So the sump pump, okay. Again, I was in my grandmother-in-law's basement, and it was the first time we ever set up to record a podcast, and we were trying to see how Riverside worked, which is what we used to record our microphones, how they worked. And it was very, like, right as we hit record, you could hear this mechanism running in the background. And we all be like, what is that? So we realized, don't worry, guys, it's just the sump pump. And then throughout the night, as it continued to go off, we all stop in our tracks and yell out, sump pump, as it started to pump again.
It still goes on.
Yeah.
The sump pump lives.
Sump pump lives.
That's why we say it still. Troutbitten Superfly. How about that? What's the Superfly?
Shh, don't talk about it.
Never heard of it.
Never mind.
Dom, you need to talk about it.
Doesn't even exist. It's a joke. We're joking
It's a
around.
thing of folklore.
There is no. It's a
Look,
folk.
Sloop's dangling one. It's not
Wives' tale.
folklore.
No, that's a woolly bugger. That's a woolly bugger.
You know, it's
No.
funny with a Troutbitten Superfly. Well, I just
Here it
kind of
goes.
went. There's a period of time where it just is not really that effective around here, and I was starting to lose.
That's blasphemy.
Right during the time that Matt and I bought like a big bundle of material, but lately
And it was
that
too
thing
thin.
that fly has been back to
Hey now.
why we use it.
That's right.
You just lost. It's not the fly.
It was a
It's not the
tiddler killer
fly, it's the
yesterday.
confidence. It's the
Troutbitten
confidence.
Superfly is a tiddler killer.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're all secretive about the Superfly. The first time I met Sloop, and I've told this story probably more than once, but it was in I don't know, what do you think? 13 probably, 2012 maybe.
Well, when did you go to school?
I started
2014.
2014, so but
Yeah,
year
so
before that.
2013.
We're sitting in a conference room together just by chance, and we get on the topic of fishing and realize that we both are interested in that. And doesn't he tell me the recipe for the Superfly within probably the first hour of speaking?
Thanks, Sloop.
And
Thanks,
but
boss.
I didn't realize it was a secret. And then
Privileges have
afterwards,
been
I think he
revoked back
remembered
in
it
the
was a
day.
secret, and he said, "Mum's the word on the Superfly."
Oh yeah, hey, stranger.
Okay.
Okay, guy I just met. Hey, don't tell anybody else about that. Come on, man.
Austin, you were pretty quick to give me a couple of them too.
Oh,
When you and I
yeah.
started fishing together. You,
Well,
was
you
like,
guys
"Hey,
were
try these."
roommates.
Yeah, close friends.
That's why you. Hey, listen. That's why you're not in the legacy group.
Oh, okay. I met
Just so you
Grobe.
know.
It's funny.
I met Grobe on the river, and he showed it to me like I don't know,
Oh,
30 seconds after I met him.
30 seconds.
He was
that's all
like,
it took.
"Yeah, I got him on this thing. Do you ever fish this?"
Meanwhile,
like the
Bill's
way you
still
look.
fishing a chartreuse woolly bugger. He still thinks it's the
That's right.
special.
Yeah, if you ask
You
Bill
brought
what the
him along,
Superfly
huh?
is, he's
You
going
held
to show you
his hand.
something very different than the rest of us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, you still don't fish the superfly properly.
He does. He does.
No, he doesn't. You look at
It looks nothing like anything
Look at
I've
this
ever
stud.
tried.
He almost said it. He
even
almost,
even
he almost
Sloop,
gave away material.
even Sloop doesn't. Everybody's got their own variation. Sloop, you still don't tie it the way I tie it.
That's why he's slooping them. They don't take it as hard.
I think it's.
I have a curved hook. You don't. Nobody does the curved hook. I think
No.
I might be the only one
Curved.
that
I
does.
bend my.
we're on the
hooks.
curve.
Mine's a
mean-
curved.
Okay.
Mine's a curved hook.
All right.
No, are you kidding me?
Can't stop us.
Sloop's straight, man. Sloop's got like a straight superfly.
Look at him. What's this? He's blocking the camera.
Look at this. Superflies.
Well, all right.
Mediocre flies.
There
Ooh,
it
look
is,
at
right?
that. Oh,
All
that's
right.
a big
That's it.
hook.
That's the superfly.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Precision Fly and Tackle is a family-owned business with a passion for the outdoors and a sense of adventure. They are anglers who enjoy every moment spent on the water with family and friends. Precision Fly and Tackle carries the widest selection of Euro rods, reels, lines, leaders, flies, and accessories. From the beginner to the advanced angler, Precision Fly and Tackle can outfit every angler, no matter the budget. Visit them online at precisionflyandtackle.com. Then use code Troutbitten10, that's the number 10, for 10% off your order. Gear up with Precision Fly and Tackle for your next adventure. Couple more, guys. What do you have? Troutbitten Glossary terms.
I don't even know what skin-tight Hodgmans mean.
Dude, you put it on a list.
I said it. I know.
Skin-tight Hodgmans.
We did it, but I mean, I'm thinking back in the day when we wore skin-tight Hodgmans.
Right, because you had them, right?
And they were obnoxious, how tight they were, right?
Neoprene Hodgmans.
Yeah, they were absolutely obnoxious. And so
5
now,
millimeter.
when
Why
you-
are they obnoxious? What makes them obnoxious?
Just how tight
Okay.
they were. I mean, you couldn't even wear, a pair of sweatpants underneath them. You had to go with the white long johns to get those suckers on,
The waffle.
right?
Yeah, the
The
waffle.
waffle long johns.
I don't have a good way of even explaining this, but anybody who's worn them can remember the way that it feels like when your like legs rub together as you're walking.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very
Yes.
unique
The chafe.
sensation.
It's almost like chafing. You don't actually chafe, but you're like, this can't be good. This doesn't feel
See?
right.
Yeah. So you can it can be used to make fun of people. Now, that guy must be fishing with skin tight Hodgmans.
Yeah. Are you
You
saying
don't
that-
like him? I don't know anyone you want to make fun of. That's it. That guy that just came into the sweetheart hole. He must have been wearing skin tight Hodgmans.
Deli warm until last year?
Bill Bell did.
I saw him.
Don't
All right.
trust anyone wearing skin tight Hodgmans anymore.
So I'll bring up knuckle dragging because we say that a fair amount.
It's a good
That
one.
dude, that just means like you're doing it, in a way that could maybe be done in a better way. Trevor,
If
help
there's
me
like
out.
tea.
tactical,
in a
if there's
better
like
way.
tactical fly fishing,
Yeah.
the opposite of tactical is like knuckle dragging.
Knuckle dragging.
But now I think
just
we can
basic.
use it. We use it in a versatile way, though.
Oh, we do,
sometimes, like,
yeah.
right? Because I
Yeah,
think
of course.
some people consider nymphing knuckle dragging,
Right, exactly.
So I think we make fun of ourselves with it.
like you're a
sometimes.
caveman. Like
right. You're a cave.
Come on,
right?
man.
Or,
Yeah, I
or
can
throwing
give you-
meat or streamers or stuff. You know,
Right,
you can
knuckle
you can
Hit them
use
with
it.
20 pound as
Yeah.
a butt section.
Oh
you
my
knuckle
God, you
drag.
knuckle
Knuckle
dragging.
dragging. Yeah. exactly.
Unbelievable. That old school leader.
Yeah.
Here's a good
some
recent
people-
example of knuckle dragging.
Go.
That, so I was on a Livingston Spring Creek. We'll leave it at that.
I mean, sloop. Never mind. They're just world class.
There's one.
There's one. It's in every fishing magazine in the world. But it's all right.
Right. And it was November. All the browns were in. Up from the the Yellowstone.
Jeez. He's not
Burning
good
it
at this.
down.
He's not good at this.
Good at burning it down.
Oh, okay. Cancel all that.
Hey, you can't. It's too late.
Mum was
in
the
too
word.
Okay, let's start this again. Okay, here it is. I was fishing a Spring Creek with my wife, not catching tiddlers. We're catching pretty nice browns on and browns and rainbows on egg patterns. Now,
Hmm.
That's
during the
knuckle
course
dragging.
of the day,
though.
we
Just saying.
this is the point. During the course of the day, we drove up to this one part where there's a fly shop, and we went into the fly shop, and we told the guy, we're having a pretty good day. He goes, what are you catching them on? Oh, mostly eggs. The look on this guy's face.
He was disappointed in you.
Wait. But I mean, let me backstory. I mean, sleeps in one of the world's most renowned dry fly fisheries, right? And so, of course, when you go into the fly shop and you just butchered fish all day on an egg pattern, you're gonna get that.
Fair. That's fair. It's got some
But
tradition.
give them what they're eating.
Oh,
Hey,
Oh,
I'm
we're
not
all
arguing
with
with
you
you,
on that.
at all. No, we're all
What are they
supporting you, but you should have expected that
Yeah.
look when the little fly shop booth has nothing but dry flies in it, and you have your Estes egg.
Pseudo Cleons.
See, that's another good example of how you can use the pseudocleon. What are they hitting? You should have just said
Pseudocleon. I was
pseudocleon.
catching on a pseudocleon. Nymph. They were hitting underneath.
Exactly.
Pseudocleon
with
emergence.
with a
sunken
That guy would have just shaken his head, and you would have walked right back
You'd have
out
had
and caught another
some respect.
bunch of fish on an egg.
But talk about the feel of a knuckle dragger. I mean, that guy's eyes said it all.
He was like, "Were you reeling him in like this, buddy?"
We were gaffing him.
I got one quick here. Why do we make fun of each other for saying the word huge?
No, not each other. Very
Is it me?
specific.
It looks
One or
silly.
two.
Is it me?
people
Go ahead,
here.
Austin. Break this down. The word
Bill
huge.
Dell's the worst
I
offender.
think I'm pretty bad. Go ahead. Break this down.
Bill Dell and Dom and Grobe, they've got that Western PA accent, but Bill is the strongest, I would say. And he likes to take the H in huge and replace it with a Y and say huge instead of huge.
Huge.
And
Can we
a lot
get
of things
can we
end up
get a
being huge on this
That's
podcast.
huge.
Somehow
There you
it comes up a
So
lot.
we know we're being made
does.
fun of, and we like to use the word a lot. It's huge.
Huge. man.
Y-U-G-E. Huge.
You know, when you talk about the Yinzer dictionary, usually that does not
That's true.
show up. The huge.
That's not even top 10 usually.
right.
It does. It bothers
Does it?
you, doesn't it, bud?
No, I mean
Education. Doesn't it?
Yeah,
That's
education,
his
maybe,
new
not
nickname,
accent.
education. It bugs you. Every time we say
What
it.
is that from?
Listen.
There's a movie.
Huge.
I'm a
too.
blue collar doctor. Okay, I'm a man
You're
of the
a blue
people.
collar doctor. I like that.
Yeah.
Blue collar dog.
I like that. He does vasectomies on ping pong tables. I just heard that. I don't know if that's
Oh
true.
man, hey now,
Allegedly.
hey now.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. He may have done that once or
They're cheaper that
once.
way. Save on the facility cost.
Can you catch a huge tiddler?
No.
You can't catch a huge tiddler.
Oxymoron.
Is that like,
Well,
What if it's
9
like a
when you
9 inch
describe-
tiddler? That's
Right. When you
that's a big
describe tiddler, you said 10 inches and under. I'm like, dude, like on my home stream, 10 inches is like the average.
That's a tiddler.
I'm thinking like tiddler.
12 inches is a pounder.
So,
wish.
yeah, I'd say 10 inches is a huge tiddler.
That's a huge tiddler.
Very good.
I'd say tiddler is like, for me, 7 inches.
Yeah.
What,
Less
like
than
when
mine.
Austin
Something
says he caught 20
hand
trout,
length
he's
or
talking
under.
15 of them were like tiddlers.
Tiddlers. Yeah.
We have anything else, guys?
Suck it.
What
What
do we have?
about what about the I could have caught more if I wanted to. We hit
Oh,
on that a little bit
that
on the
is
intro.
yours.
My
Go
God,
ahead.
could've
The,
done more.
Go ahead. Where'd
The
that
old
come from?
saying is, if you have a tough day or whatever, you didn't catch as many as you think you could have, you could say, well, if I really wanted to, I could have caught more. Could have caught more if I really wanted to.
If you really wanted to. That wasn't the goal.
Yeah.
You
No,
weren't
I was
trying
fishing
to catch
streamers.
them. We were
We're out there to
testing
learn something.
tactics,
Testing
fishing
Yeah.
streamers,
something,
aiming for
new
trophies.
flies.
Right.
Yeah. Trophy hunting.
Just trying to get them
I
on
really
top.
wanted to. I could've
Right?
caught
Trying to get them on top. Right? These are good excuses for why you didn't catch them. If you really wanted to,
Yeah,
you could have
they
gone
cut
to
off the
them.
dropper.
You
Yeah.
could have, yeah. You'd have fished somewhere else if you really were aiming for numbers.
the day before I caught 80, and it was just okay.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Last week when I fished here, I caught 76. A little
It's a
less
little
than
slow.
you did. Yeah, a little slower. Yeah. But I could have caught as many as I wanted to if I wasn't just testing a new pattern.
Yeah. It's simple.
I was also trying to challenge myself by fishing like Deli's 4X style. And,
Older. It's
I
an
only
older
caught
style.
75.
Yeah. Knuckle dragon equates to less fish.
It does, but it'll test your abilities. And if you really want to catch them, you know what you can do.
Superfly.
Tie on the super fly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Austin, where's
love
that
your
come
life.
from? Where's it come from? You just said it one day?
Just from conversation. Yeah.
If I really wanted to catch them.
Stuck around.
That was a long time ago, buddy. That was when I was playing Bar Blue, I think, the first time I ever heard you say that. Well, if I really wanted to catch it, of course you were joking. I would have, I only caught like a dozen, but if I really wanted to, I love it.
I like it. I like it. A lot of these are just us making fun of each other, which I like.
There you
Or,
go.
or ourselves.
Or others.
Or ourselves. Or others. We're just making fun. We're just having fun.
Mostly each other.
mostly make
That's
Mostly
a
each
sign of a
other,
good
yeah.
friendship is when
Right.
you can make fun of each other
Exactly.
and not be offended and enjoy that.
If you make fun of your buddy and he makes fun of you back, you know you got a good friend.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
If you didn't make fun of me, I'd be like, what did I do? Why are they mad at me?
Yep.
They're not making
Yeah.
fun of me.
I know.
They're being nice to me. What's wrong?
Yeah, I must have done something wrong.
They're being very
Are you mad at
respectful.
me?
Yeah,
Must not like me. Did we miss anything?
we must have, but
We did, but we're not allowed to talk about it.
Well,
Yeah, there
there's-
you go.
Yeah, there's some.
That's all right. It's better. It's better we not
Okay, Dad.
communicate those.
Feels like a good closer would be the way that we close our videos and your articles,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Fish hard.
Fish hard, friends.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Why do we say
Yeah.
that, Josh?
Well, a lot of people don't, and we'd like people to do
Because they're
It's a gentle
'cause Pap-
suggestion.
people are grow
and-
not the most eager fishermen.
People are pretenders.
Huh.
I was on a hunting trip a few weeks ago, and
Yeah, you were.
there's this line that they kept using down there, and it was he was just warm legging, and what that means is he you know, all of you married especially know when your wife, it's early in the morning and she puts her leg over your leg and it's real comfortable and it's warm. It's called warm legging, and you skip
That's
out on what
warm
you're
legging.
supposed to be doing that morning, like fishing or hunting or working out, whatever it is, and
Nice.
instead you warm leg. It's called warm legging.
That's
when
pretty
you
funny and
let
different.
the comfort of your wife's
The comfort.
leg keep you in bed instead of
How
getting
long
up.
you been married?
She's really up
Well,
there.
that matters.
I'm up
maybe
to
that-
35 years.
He's still
No
having
warm
kids.
legging
too.
here.
Yeah.
I definitely brought.
warm-legged.
That was a good
I
line.
like it.
They'd be like, oh, where was so and so this morning? Didn't see him out there. He's warm legging.
Oh, that's great. That is good. That kind of gets to the heart of it. There's nothing wrong with that, really. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the comfort of other things, like especially like that sometimes, right? But what we're talking about is fishing hard, which means you're getting after it. And it doesn't matter if it's raining or it's snowing or if the water's high, and I don't know, if you don't have a buddy to go with, or if, I don't know, make up 1,000 excuses, right? Those excuses don't matter. You just go fishing anyway. That's fishing hard.
Yeah, and I think it ties us all together. Like, it's one of the things that we all have in common, the most in common, is that we all love to fish hard. I think that's why we get along so well. We
Yeah.
love to fish. I mean, there's lots of other good reasons too, but if you had to distill it down to one thing that brought us together as fishermen, I think it's that we
Yes.
all care a lot about fishing and fishing hard. And it's not about the biggest fish. It's not about the most fish. It's not about anything as much as it is about fishing hard and getting after it.
Dude, I think it does come down to that, Matt.
I was just gonna bust on Austin because if Austin has 12 friends, he doesn't fish that hard. Outside of this crew,
Austin makes fires on
He's
on
a
the
warm
nearest
legger.
island. He's not fishing hard. He's like,
He's warm legging.
Cooks coffee.
Yeah, I do
Right.
enjoy that.
he stops at Sheets.
Oh,
Hey,
he,
no. I'm not a Sheets supporter. Don't do that.
he stops at Wawa,
Wawa
whatever.
through
He
and
stops
through.
at the nearest convenience store to get his
There's
his
his
coffee or his sup for
burrito.
later, like Deli did the other day.
I'm way
bear
too cheap
claw.
to stop at the store.
Just kidding you, bud. We love it. I'm with you, Trevor. I think it is. You find those good fishing buddies. Fishing hard is about. It doesn't matter if you don't. You could go a half
Yeah.
a day and you don't catch anything.
Right?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep at it. You basically fish as long as you can,
Yep.
with as much effort as you can. That's
Yeah.
fishing hard,
Totally.
and you don't give up. Heck, it could be. You might have a 3-day fishing trip, and on the last shift of the third day, you're still getting after it. You don't really give up. Then you
Yeah,
could take a
for
break,
sure.
like Austin, and
Yeah.
make a fire, brew some coffee. But no, seriously, that mindset, they're like, that's all right.
Mhm.
We got it.
Oh, it
Take
makes
a
it
quick
fun.
break here, have some coffee. But yep, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna get after it. It's never like, they aren't hitting today. And that's never what we say.
So Sloop told me this story on the chairlift again today, but
Okay,
go. Why don't you tell the Troutbitten Montana?
let's hear it, Sloop.
Story. It's a good one. You woke up to net a namer, or to watch us net a namer.
We were on a famous stretch.
Good job. Wasn't in
and-
Livingston, was it?
No, talking about fishing hard. Unfortunately, not
this
every
is a fish hard.
not every part of the fishing out here conforms with the skills that I've developed. And well, you could fish hard or you could go sleep in the car. And I mean, this was a bobber chucking place.
We like bobbers.
Deep. I think
Dude, this was a long day, though.
Yeah, it was a long day, and I think
Sun
it
up to
really,
sundown.
really fed into the guys from Western PA who had the extended experience of fishing long drifts in deep water. And I mean, I tried all day, and picked up a few fish here or there. But our friend Pat was with us. Remember, Del? Do you remember this story?
Yeah, I was there.
So it was cold. And so somewhere in the last hour, I decided just to go sit in the car and relax and try to warm up. So I rouse up and get out. And what do you know? I walk down to the stream and Pat's into something we haven't even seen yet. Do you remember he had like a bird's nest in his reel? His reel was all messed up.
It was a mess.
Right. So he's battling this monster, which turned out when he landed it to be 26 inches. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
26.
I
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it was that a female? I mean, it was
a namer. It was
Oh.
a big female brown trout.
but it was just typical of Pat and, well, Matt. It could have equally been Matt or Bill for that reason, getting the biggest fish in the water.
Yeah, it wasn't. But
But
we fished hard that day, right? And it's
Yes.
tough to find a crew that would go sun up to sundown
Yeah, yeah.
in those conditions.
it's
Right?
very cold.
Pat and I fished probably the coldest day I've ever fished. We had our buddy Steve with us, and he went back to the car a couple times. It was rough. We weren't. None of us were ready for it to get that cold. We stopped there on the way back from Connecticut when we were fishing there. Remember that, Sloop?
Steve Full.
Yeah, Steve Full.
Yeah.
Steve was not ready for it. That's all right. And he still caught a couple fish too, but I mean, that was cold. But we stayed on because we were all catching fish. Steve, Pat, and I were all catching fish, but man, it was cold. We just had like single layers instead of like what we needed was triple layers. It's tough, but that's I don't know. You get after it. Doesn't matter the conditions.
Yeah. Well, that was a good memory of
Right on.
fishing hard for sure.
All right. We got anything else? Anybody want to add something?
There's one other that I like that you
Yeah,
have.
please. Yep.
You have the term building sheds. I'd like
Oh,
you
yeah.
to explain that because that's good.
I don't know if we've ever said it on the podcast. I say it to a lot of
Probably
people in person. When somebody's sitting there or standing there tying knots and re-rigging and it's taking extra long. Like when I watch Trevor, for example, just tying knots.
Because he doesn't
I'm just
practice.
messing with you, buddy.
There you go.
But I think some of us are faster at tying knots than others. And when I'm like, just give me that, I could do that. Just anyway, if somebody's standing there tying knots for an extra long time, I say you're building sheds. That comes from my buddy Dan Krofchek, who I used to play music with. And if we were stringing up, we played guitar together, and if we were stringing up or tuning for an extra long time or trying to figure some just wood shedding, trying to figure out a fingering pattern,
Wood
he'd
shed.
say, "What are you building sheds?" And I don't know. I carried that over to the river, building
Just
sheds,
fumbling around, not getting anything done.
right? Or just taking extra long, like building sheds. Makes
I
no
love that.
sense, but it's fun to say.
It doesn't, but it's good.
What's your New Year's resolution, guys? Real quick,
Man, fishing.
real quick. Fish more. That's mine. I'm going to fish more. One sentence.
I want to catch a night namer
There you
again
go.
for a second year in a row.
Yeah, right.
That's my third year.
Any
maybe.
other
It's
New
my
Year's
resolution.
resolutions?
Explore more streams.
Nice.
I'm gonna beat Austin in a right-handed arm wrestling match.
Right-handed. I don't think it could be done. You see those biceps?
Might
Now we're
not
going
be
to
able
get so
be done.
stressed every time the Christmas party comes around.
I know.
Right.
I choose not to wrestle. I choose not to wrestle.
We're going to have to get a belt, a title belt.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Troutbitten Arm Wrestling Championships. How ridiculous.
Can we get a big platinum chain with a money sign on it?
We got to do the
Oh, yeah.
we do the Sally
We
song.
should
Go
get
to
that for when you catch a whiskey.
Yeah.
You gotta wear it on the podcast.
Right.
Might be
It's for a
pretty fucking
namer.
cool.
The next name. I think the name.
Namer. Yeah. It's gotta
Whoever
be
gets the
something.
last namer should have a, let's get a big
Something,
plastic chain.
I like it.
I like that.
We totally should.
All right. There it is. Episode 101. That's season 9 in the books. So we'll be back in about a month with season 10. That one will be a skills series about the 7 critical concepts of nymph fishing. So thank you so much for being part of all this. Thanks to my best friends right here. This was a fun one. Just kind of relaxing, remembering, and laughing. So to all of our listeners, wherever you are out there this holiday season, we hope you'll share that same connection with those whom you love too. Make time for each other and have a good one. Maybe fish a little too. Merry Christmas, all of you Troutbitten friends. Happy holidays, and have a happy new year. As my good friend Jack used to say from behind the drum kit at the end of every gig, thanks for coming. Get home safe. Watch out for the man. He's out there. He'll get you. Sloop John B., will you read us out?
I certainly will. Remember, the Troutbitten Project is a free resource for all anglers.
It's free. Skin tight.
The Troutbitten website hosts over 1,000 articles with endless stories, commentaries, tactics, tips, and more.
Even more.
Find what you like through the top menu and through the search page. Navigate by the way of the categories and tags too.
Deli.
Be sure to find the Troutbitten YouTube channel, now featuring the Troutbitten Tips series,
Tiddler.
the Fish and Film series, and the Troutbitten Flybox, all in collaboration with Wilds Medias.
Wilds Media.
See, I'm blushing again.
Yes.
He's blushing.
Thank you for listening to the Troutbitten Podcast. Please give the show a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave a comment, because that really helps.
It does. We've gone
Until
over that.
next
It
time,
does.
friends, fish hard, enjoy the
Yes.
day,
Yes.
and find your life on the water.
Hey now.
Hey
now.
Super.
That's it.
Until next season.
You look good, buddy.
Hey, now I'm in the game.
Troutbitten.
Maybe that one. Yeah, you can give it a funny name.
You target the tiddlers, don't you?
Sloop does.
Hey, if it's got spots, click it.
Aren't people nice? See, the world's good.
Right, conquered.
Don't worry about it.
Little widow's web, little parachute on that 24. You'd be catching fish left and right this fall, Bill.
Keep you on your toes.
Thundercats. Oh.
Was that a WWE wrestler?
No.
It's a cartoon.
Come
You
on.
know who
Austin's
Snarf
too
is?
young. He
Young
never watched
loves.
Thundercats.
It's just a joke, you guys.
No warm legging tonight.
I don't even know what skin tight Hodgmans mean.